So here it is, Monday, April 26th, and I'm out front of my house. This is a week after the big fire here in Airdrie, and I noticed this morning that there's actually some demolition going on over here, which very much surprises me because I was speaking to a lady last week who said that the fire in her neighborhood a year ago was still basically standing exactly the way it had immediately after. I was planning on taking a quiet video this morning to show everybody the results of the fire, and now I find that things are changing considerably. But I'm going to take the video anyway, so that you can see what's going on. They've had it fenced off for about a week now to keep the looky-loos out. And like I said, it really surprises me that they're actually demolishing that house already. That is the first house that burned. What you can see here is my poor trampled flower garden, because it's April in Canada and nothing's really showing like it's growing yet. Everybody just, there must have been 400 people out here during the fire, walking through my garden and on my neighbor's lawn. There's probably 500,000 cigarette butts. Don't ask me what it is about watching somebody's house burn down that makes people think that it's a good idea to light up a smoke, but that's what happened. We're going along the street here now and getting closer to the actual destruction. You can see that the house on this end has an enormous chunk out of the roof. That's about, well, the other side of the house is completely burned as well, but this house may or may not be able to be restored. I have no idea. And anyway, they were here last week taking some things out of that house, so in spite of what must be massive water damage inside, they have been able to salvage something, I guess. We were looking around the backs of the houses yesterday, and their back balcony came through virtually unscathed, so they can retrieve their barbecue at least. But I don't know how much else in the house might be salvageable. And as you can see, the 3 houses next to it are nothing but matchsticks. It's really too bad that we're having to listen to this noisy machine while I'm trying to tell you about this. All the houses across the road here, the fire was so hot that it melted siding. Now we can't see anything because of this enormous truck, but I'll go to the other end and maybe we can get a better view. The house next door on the south end, its siding is all melted too. Those people must feel incredibly fortunate. These 3 houses that are nothing but matchsticks, I don't know if you can see that there's 3 houses there. It started at the 3rd one on the right. And I don't honestly know. No, I'm lying actually. It started in the center one. This was the first house to go up. The other 2 houses adjacent to it were fully engulfed by the time the fire department got here. And as you can see on some of the other videos on YouTube, what happened was 2 fire trucks got here with handheld hoses and the police came along and used their cars to block off the south end, locked the cars and walked away, so that when the big pumper truck actually got here, he couldn't get in because the road was blocked by the police cars. One of the cops was still here and tried to get into his vehicle, but it was locked, and so the fire truck, being unable to back up and turn around, went back out that end of the neighborhood and went way around a huge block that he didn't actually have to go through, and came in on the other end over by our house, which is the greenhouse over there, or the White House over there with the green roof. And yeah, it took the fire department a very long time to get that big pumper hose in here. And basically by that time, these 3 houses were totally gone. However, this house in the middle that started the fire, even though it started on fire somewhere around 9 o'clock in the evening, they were still pouring water into that at 1:30 in the morning because it hadn't gone out yet. Although by that time the fire was out in the adjacent houses. There are still security vehicles here, and still signs saying that the neighborhood is open to local traffic only, although I'm not sure that's really doing much good. At least they unblocked the road. For the first 3 or 4 days, we had to move barricades every time we tried to get into our neighborhood. I am really, really surprised that they're demolishing this house already. I would have expected the police and the insurance folks to want that stuff left as it was until such time as the investigation was finished. But perhaps all they need to know is what's to be found in the first house that started on fire. This gentleman here just sided his house last year, and it's all melted off. You can see he's already started to replace the siding. This garage belongs to this same house. You can also see that there's some red tape on the front window of this house, where the window cracked because of the heat of the fire. All of these people, of course, had to evacuate their houses while the fire was going on because it was very, very hot inside, and nobody really knew whether or not the fire was going to jump the street.